toughest tournament in MMA history. It is the opening round of the Bellator MMA Welterweight Grand Prix, pitting former champion against former champion in this, their trilogy fight. Bring on Lima versus Koreshkov 3. The bell and the rubber match begins. The stakes are high here as the winner will advance to face the victor of the much-anticipated grudge match between the UK's Paul Daly and MVP Michael Venom Page. But this is about now. Lima in the red gloves, Koreshkov in the blue, and you know for Lima, the game plan is attack those legs with his ferocious kicks.
He has got some of the hardest kicks in MMA.
Oh, there you go.
That kick right there. You can see Koreshkov came out in a southpaw stance.
Wow, spinning
there you go.
kick by Koreshkov.
That's the first spinning technique that's ever touched Douglas Lima from Koreshkov.
And you know Koreshkov's trainer, Alexander Slamenko, known for his ostentatious spinning attack, smiled when that landed.
Well, that's where Koreshkov has learned that from. And it is interesting to see that Koreshkov has come out here with this southpaw stance, but it does open up his body to an attack with the kicks by Douglas Lima.
Inside low kick by Lima, minute gone in the opening round. Inside low kick by Koreshkov, who switches back to orthodox stance, and here we go. Cavalcade of kicks in round one, and Koreshkov shoots, but telegraphed it, and Lima able to stuff it so far.
He's able to stuff it so far, but you've got Koreshkov is strong, able to get inside. He is on that leg. He's still in good position. He get a high crotch from here. Douglas Lima trying to open him up, get that head up a little bit higher, but he still can get him. If he gets his hips up inside, he can get him right off of his feet.
In their first meeting, Koreshkov smothering Lima with his wrestling. The rematch.
Nice balance by Douglas Lima.
Lima able to counter in the third round with a left hook that set up the finish. And now here is the much anticipated rubber match.
And both guys are going after. When we looked at this fight more, we talked about, look at Douglas Lima has got to attack that lead leg. He's got to do things to make Koreshkov open up. And Koreshkov has got to get those takedowns and take Douglas Lima out of range of those kicks. That's their roots to victory.
Koreshkov frustrated by the mistakes he made in the loss to Lima, shoring those up in preparation for this third meeting between former Bellator MMA welterweight champions. Koreshkov has won 8 of his last 9 with the loss coming to Lima. Lima stabs Koreshkov with a knee to the midsection. Koreshkov looking for the trip, and Lima hanging on.
Lima's got a good take. He's going to the double. He doesn't want to. He just decides, you know what, I'm going to clinch with you up against the fence. The one thing that we found out for a long time, Andre Koreshkov was a striker in Bellator. All of his strike, basically never used a takedown. And then we learned when he fought Douglas Lima the first time, he has got outstanding wrestling technique, and it is hard to deal with because Douglas Lima is known as a guy that is super hard to take down.
Only 2 losses in Koreshkov's career have come against Lima and former Bellator champion Ben Askren. Koreshkov holds a title defense over former UFC lightweight champion Benson Henderson here in Bellator. And what do you make of the first round thus far, John?
You know, honestly, it's exactly like I thought. When Koreshkov could get inside and could get that clinch and try for the wrestling, he needs to do that to get his victory today. And Douglas Lima needs to land those leg kicks. Doug needs to get Koreshkov off of him and off of the fence. It's okay if Doug goes for the takedown himself. And he doesn't want to be in this clinch position.
Highly educated crowd in San Jose, raining down the boos. They know what these two are capable of, and they'd like to see a little more action.
And it's always so surprising when, you know, people think they know Koreshkov being this great striker. Koreshkov knows that Douglas Lima has hurt him in the stand-up. And he knows he's a great striker, but he knows that he has an advantage in this fight if he puts Douglas Lima on the ground.
Final minute of the first round, and Lima and Koreshkov jockeying for position along the fence.
Both guys trying, Josh Rosenthal's trying to give him time here, trying to let them work it out. And you see the knees coming from Koreshkov, and although, you know, a lot of people in the stands want more, those knees inside, those knees on your thighs, they add up over time and make it to where your movement is limited.
Koreshkov began training pankration and army combat fighting when he was just 9. made his pro MMA debut in October of 2010 and changing levels, looking for the takedown against Lima as 15 seconds are left in the first round.
There was a nice left hook landed by Koreshkov in that little exchange.
An uneventful opening round for the Bellator Welterweight Grand Prix. Bell and round number 2. Koreshkov's 15th Bellator welterweight bout, the most appearances in division history. Koreshkov's 12 victories in Bellator welterweight competition, also the most in divisional history. When we talked to Douglas Lima, he said the game plan was going to be all about coming down to timing the brutal attacks of Koreshkov. And for Lima, well, he hopes his time makes a metronome envious. He wants to find that opening.
You can see Douglas is looking for it. But the one thing I would suggest if I was in Douglas Lima's corner is when Koreshkov goes to this southpaw position, not only attack that lead leg, I want you to throw hard kicks to the body. Hit that left arm. It's okay if you hit the arm. It's going to slow it down and it makes it less effective.
Lima went into their first fight with a leg injury. Not to make any excuses, the head of Bellator MMA, Scott Coker, he is watching, of course, the Welterweight World Grand Prix and the race to 50 cents $1 million. Yes, the rapper putting $1 million in the pot for the winner of the Bellator MMA Welterweight Grand Prix. I wonder how Chael's son and the rest of the Heavyweight Grand Prix crew feel about that. Chael's like, well, where's our $1 million?
You have your own tournament. You go, why are they getting $1 million? But you know what?
Oh,
50 likes the lighter guys.
Lima with the right hand on the exit. Head kick by Koreshkov, switches back to the southpaw stance.
And the reason he's switching to that southpaw stance is Douglas Lima's right leg to get that kick is going to take farther to travel. It's more opportunity for him to nullify that kick from that position, but he does open himself up to that body attack.
And when it comes to 50 cents, it's all about getting that strap, and these two want to once again wear the Bellator MMA welterweight strap. It's currently around the waist of Rory McDonald, who is going to be challenging middleweight champion Gegard Mousasi in the main event, and there is the man with all the power.
I like what I'm seeing from Douglas Lima because he's starting to read Koreshkov. He's starting to look for those counters. He's starting to set up that timing. He can see it. Good inside
low kick by Lima, midpoint of the second round.
And when you see Koreshkov moving off like that, Morrow, that's telling you that leg kick, I felt it. I need to reestablish. I need to reset because I did feel it. So that shows that's being effective.
Exchange of kicks, of course, against Rory McDonald in Lima's welterweight title defense. Lima resembled Jose Aldo against Uriah Faber, attacking the legs. That, you know, it's a testament to Rory McDonald's will and his heart that he's able to survive and become welterweight champion. That title up for grabs in this tournament.
Well, if you can look at that, look at the left leg of Koreshkov. When he puts that thing forward, you can see Douglas Lima going after it, and it's already starting to mark up, and it's already starting to swell.
Lima just missed with the right uppercut, but then clipped Koreshkov with a left hook.
He's doing the same thing to Andrei Koreshkov's leg as he did to Rory McDonald's. There's already a hematoma on it, and that is going to affect Koreshkov in this fight if it continues.
It's that time of year when the leaves change color, and Koreshkov's lead leg may be doing the same thing, courtesy of Douglas Lima.
Douglas Lima's lower leg kicks are unbelievable. It's like getting hit with a Louisville Slugger. You know, the reason that Koreshkov is pushing him into the fence, he needs to stop that kick. He needs to stop the damage. You can already see, look at the hematoma already on Koreshkov's leg.
I think this crowd's still buzzing in the afterglow of the Pico KO that electrified the Shark Tank. Less than a minute left here in the second round, and a very tactical battle between Koreshkov and Lima. They find themselves against the fence, but not much in terms of any real dominance.
No, there isn't. Koreshkov is doing a good job when he gets his head inside and starts to push Lima's head away with his head, but he's not having the same ability of taking Lima down like he did before. It's obvious Lima knew he's going to try to take me down. I'm going to start working on my takedown defense, and it is actually having an effect on the fight.
No, that's not correct, Mr. Rosenthal. This is round 3 of a scheduled 5 rounds. How do you have it after 2 on your unofficial scorecard, John?
Right now, I'll tell you, that's the first round that I've ever given Douglas Lima against Koreshkov. Douglas Lima won that round 10-9. I think Josh Rosenthal did that same thing with Dan Henderson against Shogun Hua when they fought in this same building. So there's a problem.
MMA fight. So many indelible MMA memories here at the Shark Tank. Koreshkov lands the left hand as Lima tripped.
Exactly. It wasn't the left hand that hurt him. It was a trip of the feet. But now they're back in that same position. But Koreshkov is not having the success he's had in the past with his takedowns.
And really, Lima should not settle for this.
No, he should not. He has got to start saying, you know, I need to make this guy work and separate. I need to start causing problems, because all these little knees, if this is what happens in the fight, this is what the judges have to go off of, and they're going to give it to the guy who's trying to be offensive with those little knees when there's nothing coming from Douglas Lima at this point.
Lima, undefeated in Muay Thai competition, garnered 17 knockouts out of his 21 fights, so he's all about dynamic striking. We have not seen much of that here in this fight tonight.
You know, all of this is very technical fighting, and it's draining on you as a fighter, but it's not exciting for the crowd. But there's so much technique and so many little things that both guys are doing right now. They're just negating what each other is doing.
Well, let's talk about then what happens if this fight ends with a decision that fails to determine a winner. Let's just say there is a draw, technical draw, no contest, etc., Mr. McCarthy.
Well, since this is a tournament fight, but this is a 5-round fight, under the unified rules, you are not going to be able to have the fighters go more than those 5 rounds. So what the commission will do is, if the judges have scored this as a draw, the commission will go to those judges. Those judges will be told, I want you to pick a person to advance in the tournament. It doesn't mean that one guy wins. It's going to be a draw, but they will decide which one advances.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come down to that, as now, Koreshkov shaving Lima's head with that spinning back fist attempt that Lima just avoided. Midpoint of round 3, inside low kick by Lima. Koreshkov back to a southpaw stance, feints. Body kick by Lima, straight right hand between the guard by Lima.
And the one thing I'd want to see out of Lima right now is start opening up with a couple more shots. Don't do singles. Start to give a couple combinations of this. Hide that kick behind the hands. Make Koreshkov's hands come up and then hit that body.
Wow, blistering body kick by Lima. Inside low kick by Lima. Now Lima beginning to find his rhythm.
Yeah, this kicking game, I'm telling you right now, the way Douglas Lima kicks, he is absolutely devastating with those kicks. Koreshkov is always going to try to close the distance if he can to stop those kicks.
And Koreshkov beginning to feel the effects of the kicks. Switching stances now back to orthodox.
And right there, that's what Douglas Lima has to do. Do not put your back on the cage. Get yourself out by that black ring.
Body kick by Koreshkov, a better outside low kick by Lima. And again, it forces Koreshkov to switch stances.
And if the one thing, if I was in Douglas Lima's corner right now, I'm telling you, I want you to move forward, pressure. Go forward slowly, but go forward.
Lima stops the takedown attempt by Koreshkov. Looking for Koreshkov's back now, looking for the front choke. Sprawling. Lima has 11 submission victories out of his 29. Very well versed. 13 knockout wins, 11 submission victories for Douglas Lima. And this is 37th professional fight.
Koreshkov needs to get that wrist control off. He's not going to have a nice knee tap right there by Douglas Lima to get him back. Good job of Koreshkov to get back to the feet. But this is where Douglas Lima wants to be. Put Koreshkov's back towards the fence. You're going to have a much better success rate than putting your back like it is right now, because now you're allowing Koreshkov, when he gets that charge, put you right up into that cage with the clinch.
Koreshkov leads with the left hand of the body, wants to secure the takedown as the clock reaches the final 20 seconds of the 3rd round. Are you surprised at all at the way this fight has played out, John, knowing what we knew coming in?
I am not surprised, because I knew it was going to be technical, because both of them knew exactly what they had to do.
We are headed to the penultimate round. right now it's round 4 in this, the opening round of the Bellator Welterweight Grand Prix. Former two-time champion Douglas Lima against former champ Andre Koreshkov, and man, it's still anybody's fight.
It is, and one of the things that I noticed in Douglas Lima going back to his corner after the end of the round, he is not breathing hard at all. He is in shape, and he should try to start pushing the pace of this fight. Koreshkov has put a lot of energy in trying to get those takedowns. He has not been successful, and it is starting to have an effect on him.
Koreshkov in the blue gloves, Lima in the red gloves. Oh, I think they're actually to the shin area there.
Linear kick right down just below the knee.
You a fan of that, Strike?
I am a fan of it because you know what? It's a matter of it's pushing you back. You can deal with it. You just have to learn how to deal with it, and that's part of the martial arts.
And there was a shot just below the equator. Oh, yeah.
Now that, and you look and you go, what the?
Journey Rory McDonald's about to embark on in the main event, moving up to challenge Gegard Mousasi, and yet he already knows that he will be defending the welterweight championship, win or lose in the tournament, against John Fitch.
You know, you look, what a bold move by Rory in taking that.
Fortune favors the bold.
Fortune favors the bold. And then the one thing he knows is, no matter what happens to this fight, I have to get myself ready. I got John Fitch waiting in the wings in this welterweight tournament.
Incredible. Koreshkov lunging forward with that overhand left. Back to orthodox, now to southpaw. So Koreshkov just doing his best to try to befuddle Lima, looking for the takedown.
Really
beautifully
nice.
Defended by Lima.
Exactly. You look, he got deep on him. Good level change, got deep on that takedown, and Lima just bounced him off like he was a block wall. Koreshkov is having no success in the takedowns of Douglas Lima. But right here, this is where I say Douglas Lima needs to start opening up. Don't sit here and start to accept this clinch position and do these little things. Make Koreshkov work. Get in the open.
King of the streets around here. Inside knee delivered by Lima. Talk about the pace, John, because obviously these two champions have been in there a long time with each other, and obviously they know each other, and they know what's at stake. And yet, what do you want to see them do to make this a more dynamic fight?
Well, what we're seeing is exactly what I expected out of Andre Koreshkov. I expected Koreshkov to go after this takedown because he knows he needs to put Douglas Lima down on the ground. That way it takes away all the kicks and it limits the damage that he accepts. But he hasn't been successful in this fight when he has been successful in the past. He's doing what he has been trained to do. Douglas Lima needs to start opening up when he gets Koreshkov around. Start to break off, open up with an elbow, frame out, and then open up with your striking attack in the middle of the cage.
Final 90 seconds of the fourth round, scheduled for 5. And this is the opening round of the Bellator MMA Welterweight Grand Prix. Winner to face the victor of Paul Daly versus Michael Venom Page, a much anticipated grudge match.
And this is one of those fights where when the fighter goes, oh, I won that fight, it's like, no, I don't care who wins it. You're not opening up and doing things that are telling the judge, I deserve to win this fight.
We are down to the final minute of the fourth round, and Lima
nice, that's what I'm talking about. Hit with that strike, circle out, open up from the outside.
Lima ducks under the left hand from Koreshkov and then misses with the right uppercut.
Every time you see Koreshkov start to bounce, it's a timing rhythm that Lima is good at picking up and hitting with the leg kick.
Oh, nice knee by Lima. Final 30 seconds of the fourth round, and Koreshkov and Lima still trying to solve each other's puzzle. Both recording wins against the other. They exchanged the Bellator Welterweight Championship. And we are coming down. Oh, right hand that stunned Koreshkov momentarily by Lima. And Lima now attacking Koreshkov in the final seconds of the fourth. The bell in the fifth and a final round in this battle of former Bellator welterweight champions to kick off the Bellator MMA Welterweight Grand Prix. According to Big John's unofficial scorecard, Lima is ahead by 2 points, which would indicate that Koreshkov would need a finish in order to advance to the semifinals. Koreshkov was very impressed by Lima's performance against Rory McDonald, and he told us that he wasn't going to rush in and try to finish him right away, because that's how well he was able to catch him the last time. But now is the time. 4 minutes, 20 seconds left. Someone needs to impose their will and skill on the other, John.
Well, there comes a point where your corner should be at least having an idea of, that's a close round, or we lost that round. And in this situation, they should be telling Koreshkov, you need to open up, you need to go after it.
Lima told us the trilogy fights, of course, are special. They've spent a lot of time in the cage together. He can't wait to finish this chapter off. He's come in ready. Says it's time to perform, and now is the time.
And now that you see Koreshkov going backwards, he is telling you all of that energy, all of that damage is starting to take effect. Douglas Lima moving forward is a bad thing for Andrei Koreshkov.
Left hook, right uppercut, right hand, left hook by Lima. No question, Lima is getting the better of the two fighters in the striking exchange, but the exchanges and even the delivery, few and far between, John.
Absolutely. You know, you look at, everyone knows Koreshkov as an elite striker, but in every one of their fights, in the striking department, Douglas Lima has been the guy that's gotten the better of the exchanges.
1-2 combination scores for Lima. Koreshkov on his back foot, out of the southpaw stance, now back to orthodox. Lima feints with the leg kick. Left hook just raised. Koreshkov with the right hand landed.
We got a real problem with our movement ability of Koreshkov. His legs are getting heavy and he's having a hard time moving, which is setting him up for that attack.
So win or lose, we won't be seeing any ballroom dancing from Koreshkov.
And you know what? There's got to be something about ballroom dancing. Koreshkov is one hell of a striker. You got a guy like Vasily.
Lima now attacking Koreshkov on the ground, getting his back, dropping those right hands. 2 minutes, 22 seconds left in the fight. Lima wanting to finish it here in the fifth.
Lima utilizing a really good hip ride on top of Koreshkov's hip, being heavy and just picking away with the strikes.
Lima gets the hooks in. Now looking for the rear naked choke on Koreshkov.
He's in trouble. He's in trouble, Moro.
Koreshkov has never been submitted.
He's pulling on the wrong arm. He's going to go out. He's out.
He's out. Not only in the fight, but out of the tournament. Douglas Lima in dramatic fashion.
Take a look. He's on this hip ride. You see him starting to open up with strikes. Koreshkov starts to move and immediately watch the position that Douglas Lima comes into. That hook inside, gets it set, brings his arm underneath, which makes it hard for Koreshkov to defend. That choke is in tight. It's only a matter of time from that point. He's either going to tap or nap, and he goes to sleep. Look at that leg come in for that hook. Outside hook comes in, and you see that arm come over the top, and it's tight against his head. There's nothing for him to pull. He's trying to pull it down, but he doesn't get high enough. Get that little bit of squeeze right here, the twist on the neck. He's gonna go out.
Let's make it official. Douglas Lima, and of course Michael Page's striking is out of a video game.
Look at the records on both these guys. It tells you how good they are.
To the final, wanting another crack at becoming welterweight champion. In the other semifinal, champion Rory McDonald will defend against Neiman Gracie June 14th, and immediately Michael Venom Page showing off that unorthodox striking, John.
Doing a very good job of coming out and controlling basically the center of the cage. Keeping Douglas Lima's back to the cage. That's a good idea, but he needs to be very careful of Douglas just swinging him around and putting his back to the cage.
Both fighters feel that while it would be a tough fight, that Rory McDonald should advance to the final with that welterweight championship. But tonight it's all about Lima and Page, and Lima coming forward slowly, knowing full well that the self-proclaimed snake charmer is going to try to mesmerize and hypnotize Lima, but I don't think a veteran like Lima will fall for something like that.
I expect this to be a slow round for Douglas Lima because he has to try to figure out that range and that motion that Michael Venom Page brings. It is awkward. It is different. Just relax, take your time, and hit that low kick just like you're talking about. You do that, you will start to slow down all of that motion.
And while some people feel that, you know, they look at Michael Venom Page, what is he doing expending all of this energy? In many ways, he's hiding his offense just like that. The guy's as precise as a jeweler, and his timing makes metronomes envious, John.
I will tell you, when a guy has his hands down low, it is very difficult to see when your hands are up. It's hard to see some of the shots that'll come up from that range. Now, obviously, his chin is out there, and he is open to be hit. But the question is, can you close that distance and land that shot on it?
Page admitted to us he wasn't all there mentally in the fight against Paul Daly, mourning the loss of his father who died on Boxing Day last year. Quickly surges in and out looking for that right hand. Meanwhile, Lima looking to collect data before collecting that elbow. The takedown is secured by Douglas Lima here in round one.
And that right there, that was Venom Page feeding Douglas Lima exactly what he needs. He closed the distance. He tried to attack, which is good, but he went right into the range of Douglas Lima now being able to grab a hold of him. This is the area that I believe Douglas Lima has the biggest advantage in this fight.
Lima has secured 12 submission wins, including that 5th round rear naked choke against Andrei Koreshkov in the first fight of this Welterweight World Grand Prix. And now Page looking to control his posture, control his arms from his back. And let's not discount what Page is learning on the ground as well in his camp.
Oh, absolutely. Look at Michael Venom Page. I tell people all the time, his grappling is much better than people give him credit for. He's very much like an Anderson Silva. No one thinks, everyone says, oh, Anderson is a stand-up fighter, but Anderson has a very accomplished submission game. So does Venom Page, but when you look and say comparative to Douglas Lima, he doesn't have the time on the ground, doesn't have the time in that range that he's going to be able to be as good as what Douglas Lima has been able to accomplish in his life.
Last submission win for Page was at Bellator 153 in April of 2016 over Jeremy Holloway with that aforementioned sock lock, estima lock. It's painful is what it was.
It's
modified.
painful.
And so looking at creative offense there as well. 90 seconds left. Lima has Page on his back, working from the closed guard. Good hand grappling by Page.
Page has done a very good job of controlling the wrist. He's got a strong grip, but that grip will start to go away. You continue to squeeze really hard, holding on to the forearm area of Douglas Lima. Eventually, it starts to wear down.
Coming up on the final 60 seconds of the opening round, Lima secures the takedown, but not able to capitalize on this opportunity thus far. Less than a minute now left in this first frame. Man, great hand grappling here by Page.
Absolutely beautiful control of the wrist. Page has been able to stop everything Douglas Lima wants to do here. You even see Douglas starting to look towards rolling that elbow over through the center gap right onto the top of Venom Page's head, and he can't even do that based upon the positioning of the wrist and the strength of Michael Venom Page.
Do your position, it's gotta work.
Referee warning Lima to improve his position. Meanwhile, Page is content to just keep Lima neutralized and see if the referee's going to stand them up, although we are now in the final 10 seconds. The clock, of course, should not matter, but it appears that Lima's going to ride out this round in the closed guard of Michael Venom Page. Round 2 is straight ahead. For 5, an opportunity to advance to the final of the $1 million Welterweight World Grand Prix. Page looking to show off some $1 million striking techniques, comes out with an ostentatious kick, but Douglas Lima again, experience showing already, John, in the way he reacts, although he got momentarily bothered there by Michael Venom Page.
He got hurt with that.
Staggered, and there's a jumping attack by Page.
Page needs to take advantage right now. Douglas is he's not quite at 100%.
Oh, and there, what a shot by Lima! Mamma mia! Douglas Lima has just
him with a clean shot. Watch what occurs right here. That nice little right hand on the top of the head just staggers him a little bit. And he's a little bit stunned, and he's trying to back off, give himself time. Watch what occurs here. Beautiful kick. We were talking about that kick, but watch the shot right here. That right hand, boom, touches that chin. He is unconscious right now. Didn't even need those two. He was out before he touched the ground.
We say that Michael Venom Page was out of a video game. Well, it was Lima who just mashed him on his button. The Phenom, phenomenal performance.
Rory McDonald, 30 years old. Douglas Lima, the former champion, just 1 year his L3 championship belt. And here we go. Rory McDonald in the red gloves, Douglas Lima in the blue gloves. 9th Bellator world title fight for Lima. 6th world title fight for Rory McDonald.
You watch just what you're seeing off the start, all this footwork by Rory McDonald. That is a way of compensating and keeping that leg kick down to a minimum.
Who will strike first?
Just answered that question.
Yes,
He didn't quite go to the location that we would think he'd want to. Took it to the thigh. One thing we know, Douglas Lima is one of the heaviest kickers you will ever find in the sport of MMA. His leg kicks are gruesome.
He said, and I quote to us earlier in the week, he is not taking me down tonight.
I talked to Brian Stan long ago when he used to work out with Douglas Lima, and he used to talk about how difficult it was for him as a middleweight or light heavyweight to take Douglas Lima down. He goes, he's one of the most frustrating individuals you've ever worked out with, because when he doesn't want you to take him down, he is just horrible in what he does to you and his ability to keep you from putting him on the ground.
I said at the very top of the show, Rory McDonald was the nail for many, many weeks, many, many months at the tender age of 14, 15, and 16. But he kept coming to the gym, and David Lee believed in him. And here he is today, at 30 years old, a world champion, trying to defend his belt for the 4th time.
One thing we know, coming from TriStar, Rory with Firas Zahabi. Firas is one of the best game planners there is in the sport of MMA. When he breaks down a fighter and figures out a way to attack that fighter, he's done it with so many guys in the past, especially with Rory, and being his fighter. The way he went about making a game plan for Rory when he fought Tyron Woodley, it was just absolutely perfect. And here comes that possible takedown. Nice job of fighting it off by Douglas, getting his back to that cage. That allows him to use it as a balance point. He was almost leaning over, almost going down. Stop that. Now he's in a position basically being neutral, even though his back is against the cage. And all of this, when you look at what caused Rory McDonald problems in the first fight, all of this is smart, because as this time goes by, none of those kicks, and you can still see the damage on that left leg from 2 years ago to Rory. All of this in tight fighting keeps Douglas from being able to use a weapon that he has that can hurt Rory.
3rd title defense for Rory. Won the belt January 20th, 2018. First defense was against Fitch, 2nd against Gracie. He looks to the 3rd in the rematch, right here, right now.
Nice double unders by Rory McDonald. You see him with his hands clasped, but he needs to get those hands from the middle of the back, either up high or down low into the lower part of the back. That's going to help him get that takedown.
get it? Not yet.
Again, there comes that fence, man. That was a point where he was going down. The fence allowed him to stay up. Back to the double unders. He's got a good chance of getting this if he swings around and wasn't able to do it.
30 seconds. Round number 1. Douglas Lima taking a look at the clock.
Douglas Lima also taking a look at the ref like, you know what, man, he's not doing a whole lot. We're just gonna stand here. But because Rory's got the double unders, Keith Peterson's not gonna separate him, and that's the right thing to do.
But Lima's sending an early message. Tournament in a Bellator MMA. Round 2.
I like the fact that Douglas Lima is coming out and he's taking control of the center of the cage. I talked about where he had problems in his first fight was when his back went against that fence. Rory was able to dictate where the fight was going to take place, and he didn't have a lot of movement. In the center of the cage is where he started to come on in the 3rd and 4th rounds.
Rory switching his stance continuously, trying to make sure that that leg is not a target again here tonight in the rematch. Low kick.
Rory's never really been a southpaw fighter, and if he opens himself up into the southpaw stance, it will take that leg away, but it will open him up for body attacks with those kicks by Lima.
Lima said in the first fight that he showed Rory McDonald too much respect. Much like Rory's teammate years ago, George St. Pierre, said about his first fight against Matt Hughes. Tonight, not the case in the mind of Douglas Lima. He is confident that his banner will hang amongst the champions again after tonight's battle.
Well, the big difference in that one was back then George St. Pierre wasn't the champion, Matt Hughes was. And when these guys faced out the first time, Douglas Lima was the champion. But we talk about confidence for a fighter. Confidence is key. And although he was the champion, he was in that cage looking across at a guy that he had watched fight against, like the BJ Penns, the Nate Diaz's, and the Robbie Lawlers. He saw those fights and had that in the back of his mind of, man, that's that guy I've been watching. And it's all about confidence. You gotta have confidence that, you know what, I am gonna go out there, and as we talked yesterday, Ray Longo, I am gonna go out and punch a hole in the middle of your chest.
He was extremely complimentary in talking about how impressed he was with Rory's mental fortitude and how he left everything in the Bellator ring and how he was able to come through on one leg, John, in that 5th and final round.
Yeah, I mean, it was just an incredible display of heart, determination, because we thought he was done. I'll be honest, I watched him like, and he's just lost these last 2 rounds. That leg is a mess. He is in trouble, and he came out, he got that takedown. He stayed on top of Douglas Lima. He landed big elbows and showed exactly what kind of warrior he was. Or is, excuse me.
Second takedown attempt, stuffed again. They battle against the cage.
This is similar to what we saw in Douglas Lima against Koreshkov in their first matchup. Koreshkov kept taking Douglas Lima down. From that point, in the second, third match they had, Douglas Lima did not let Koreshkov take him down, and he has blocked everything that Rory McDonald has done in trying to get this fight to the ground. Right now, I would just like to see Douglas Lima start to open up just a little bit more, start to go after more combinations. We're throwing just the ones that we're seeing, because the ones can be, you know, dealt with. It's when you're getting those combinations, those 1s, 2s, 3s, it's that second, third, fourth shot that's going to land and do the damage.
1 minute remaining in round 2 of our championship fight. the Welterweight World Grand Prix finale. Rory trying to utilize the jab. Nice right hand combination.
That was a good right hand by Douglas Lima. That thing, although Rory did get his arm up to block, it's still, you saw it shake his head, and that was a beautiful left jab. Snapped his head back.
Ten seconds.
Douglas loaded up on that. Now, I had this fight as even. I give the second round to Douglas Lima. He landed the better strikes. There really was no grappling in it. He's the one that's starting to control where this fight is at. You see him in the center of the cage like I talked about. That's a big element in him winning this fight.
Lima has been nothing short of dynamic and devastating throughout this run to the rematch with Rory.
Nice heavy hips by Douglas Lima. He just stonewalled him on that takedown. All of these are going to give Douglas Lima confidence.
Yes. Rory is 0 for 3, or Douglas is 3 for 3. Douglas Lima said it will not take more than just a couple of kicks to work my way back to the owner of the belt.
This is the round that I thought was going to start to make the difference in the fight. I felt that the first 2 rounds were going to kind of be a feeling out process, and we talked about it. I didn't think a lot was going to happen, but I said by the 3rd round, they're going to start going after each other. Rory getting him deep on that leg, but he's taking big shots. Again, Douglas Lima, great balance, utilizes that fence as a balance point, getting his back to it. Now just controls, keeps Rory from getting him to the ground. Beautiful takedown defense by Douglas Lima. See now with the hands up high here by the double underhooks with Rory, he needs to start to utilize his hips and start to turn Douglas Lima off of the cage and then spin him out. Trap a leg. You can go outside or inside trip with it. But none of those are going to work unless you turn him off of that fence, because the fence is going to be his balance point.
Douglas Lima said, "I'm better than I have ever been before."
Nice job of just pushing off by Douglas Lima.
Rory McDonald, time scheduled for 5 rounds.
Douglas Lima needs to start, like I said before, he's utilizing that left jab beautifully. It's snapping Rory's head back like it's a Pez dispenser, but he's got to start following it up, because when your head's getting snapped back by that first left, you don't even see the right coming, and that's the one that puts you out of the fight.
And the jab has always been utilized so effectively by the members of TriStar.
Again, Douglas Lima stonewalling. Rory trying to get into that clinch position to take him down. Nothing doing.
Not a lot of kicks thrown by Lima. Of course, kicks do make you vulnerable to a takedown. So the Phenom is waiting, John, for what he feels are perfect opportunities to do damage.
Douglas Lima just keeps improving as a fighter. You're seeing his hands are getting better. It's always been that, you know, I would have told you coming in here, Rory's got the better actual boxing, better hands. Douglas definitely has the better kicks. And right now, Douglas Lima is starting to win with his hands. That left jab has been effective in this fight. It's been snapping Rory's head back. It's been doing damage. And it's keeping Rory from wanting to come in on Douglas, even though he does want that takedown. He's worried about that left hand.
We asked Lima if in the back of his mind he always knew that this was going to be the ending fight of our welterweight world Grand Prix, and he said yes. And here they go again. And for Rory McDonald, it was a tough road, John, but he is here, and he has a chance to defend, win the Grand Prix, and that big check. Seconds, and still no takedown.
There's that calf kick. Nice little left hand inside.
Late in this round, let's see if Lima opens up.
Rory open up a little bit more with the kicks. Comes Douglas Lima with that calf kick into the outside. Like he'll tell you, it only takes a few. You can see he's starting to take Rory off balance. And it's really been his takedown defense. Look at him stuff this takedown. Rory gets in on that single leg, gets the leg up. He's eating shots.
Douglas Lima went 5 rounds against Ben Askren. He said back then, I didn't have wrestling. I learned my lesson. So far, he has stuffed every takedown attempt as we have entered the championship rounds, round 4. The first big one.
Rory's moving well on that leg, but you can see, look at that leg. It's got marks on it. The ones even before the fight, we saw it still had a look to it where it still looks swollen. Still had a bump. That's because of that fascia being split, coming off the bone due to the amount of blood that was put into his leg to try to heal that wound.
Rory has been circling away from the power of that right leg, thus the left hook thrown by Douglas Lima.
Rory's doing the right thing, circling to his right.
Yep.
Takes that kick away, takes the power of his right hand away. But Douglas has been landing that jab, and he needs to utilize it more, in my opinion. It's been effective. Every time Rory moves towards that left side, he should pop it out. Nice lead right. Beautiful. And did a beautiful job of making him pay. Striking him with that shot as he came out.
He said he will not take me down. We've almost reached the midway point of round 4. And Douglas Lima has not been taken down by Rory McDonald.
As good as both of these guys are, we're looking at it, even before the fight, I thought this is going to go the 5 rounds. They're just too good. All it takes is one mistake. One mistake by either guy. It's going to change this. Nice. And this is where Douglas needs to punish him. Beautiful job.
And it all started with another failed takedown attempt.
And the leg kicks.
Yes.
Those low leg kicks by Douglas Lima are death.
8th time scheduled for 5 rounds for Rory. 11th time scheduled for 5 rounds for Lima. There's 1:45 on the clock here in round 4.
And normally in this position, Rory McDonald is very dangerous with his elbows. He's great at inside fighting, but he's thinking so much of getting Douglas Lima to the ground, he's not even thinking of throwing the elbow. He doesn't want to take the chance of disengaging and then being out there again and accepting another kick.
You see some swelling on the leg of Rory McDonald.
It's been a good round so far for Douglas Lima. Roy's going to have to do some good work to get this round back in his favor.
Who'd you give round 3 to?
Round 3 I have with Douglas Lima. Right now I have in my head.
Spin and a miss by Rory. So far, the game plan of Lima has played out to perfection.
Now, he's done a very good job of holding the center of the cage. He has not had his back against the cage that much. You know, Rory's tried to force him there. He's used it as a balance point when he's needed to, but nothing like we saw in the first matchup, and that's been a big difference.
Rory trying to set up a strike with that change of levels a moment ago. Superman punch is way short. 3 of his last 4 fights. Same for Rory McDonald, Big John's scorecard.
Right now, I've got Douglas Lima up 3 rounds to 1. I do not see Rory McDonald being able to win this on the cards. He needs to do something special. Try to get into Douglas Lima, open up. You got to do something. Take away the advantages that he has created.
In the fight against Koreshkov, Lima finished that former champion in the 5th round. Big jab.
That left hand has been a big weapon for Douglas Lima here tonight. Rory pressing him to the cage. That's smart. Nice job by Douglas Lima coming out on top. Rory went for that takedown. Lima did not just accept it, go to his back, brought the legs up, got the reversal on it. Douglas Lima's a different animal here tonight.
Some blood coming out of the nose of Douglas Lima. He's in top position. Rory closing his guard. But he's behind on John's scorecard and needs to make something happen.
He's trying to force his knee inside. He's looking to try to bring up, get a little bit of opening so he can bring his legs up, look for a triangle. Right now, there's nothing there for him. Douglas Lima hit him with a good elbow on the bottom. Rory's going for the arm.
Lima has not been stopped in over 11 years.
Nice attempt by Rory McDonald, just didn't have the position quite set. Twining the leg, but now he's in trouble from his position, giving his back.
Douglas Lima, the former champion, trying to leave no doubt in anyone's mind that this fight belongs to him. Here in the 5th and final round. See the swelling from some of those jabs. And a short hammer fist.
Rory keeps on moving back and forth. Those are big, heavy shots. He needs to think about, cannot stay in that position. If it's that I have to end up pulling back and going into guard, then do it. Instead of taking those big shots from Douglas.
.145 remains in this championship fight. In a big round 5 for Douglas Lima.
Big shot by Doug. Lima looking good here.
He's only been stopped twice in his entire career. This, his 39th professional fight.
Nice movement by Rory. Was trying to set up an omoplata for a second. Looking for that reversal. Looking to get Douglas Lima's back right here. Nice reversal by Rory McDonald. See Douglas going for the leg. Two guys that know the ground very well.
Both black belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Huge sense of urgency here for the champion. 30 seconds remain.
See, Rory's trying, just nothing's able to land. Able to get anything off on the defensive work of Doug Lima. One of those out there's a good shot. Missed.
Once again, they go the distance.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance in this world title fight, we'll go to your three judges at cage side. Your first judge, Sal D'Amato, scores the fight 49-46, while judges Eric Colon and Ben Cartledge both see it the same, 50-45. All have it for the winner by unanimous decision. The $1 million winner of the Welterweight World Grand Prix is the new and now three-time